Hey everybody, it's Tom Antion live on Sunday night. I'm glad you could stop by and check us out. Going to have a good time tonight as always. Going to get my notes out here while people are signing in. Yeah, beautiful day here in Virginia Beach. A lot of craziness going on the on the elections. I'll tell you what, boy, it's I've never watched any of this stuff in years, and I can't take my eyes off of it. It's so crazy. Um, yeah, so also our regular warning, I can sometimes get out a little hand language wise if I get the a-hole of the week gets under my skin, but that's kind of the way it goes. So our fake sponsor of the week is M.E. Thomas. M.E. Thomas, who wrote Confessions of a Sociopath. I'm reading about our election, basically. Yeah, this is, in my anti-scam work, I try to read about the minds of people that just do bad things with they have no conscience, basically. They have no empathy for anything. They are good though. What they are really good at is they know what they should feel because they're very observant, but they can't actually feel it. But they're very good at pretending that they feel it to rob you or lord over on you or whatever they're trying to get out of you. So Confessions of a Sociopath is a life spent hiding in plain sight. All right. That's our fake sponsor. I can hold it up right here. No, I'm not a sociopath. Oh, maybe I am. No, I'm not. All right, let's see. Hey, David, nice to see you. Let's see. Holly's here. Alan's here. How you doing, Alan? Well, we got a lot of good stuff. We got some good mailbag questions coming up. We got in the news. We have some dumb non-criminals instead of dumb criminals this week, and an absolute method on how to make God stay away from you. All right, we'll talk about that in the news section. In the scam section, it's a dog's world. Brutal self-defense. I'm going to show you how to go 0 to 100 and not get a ticket for it. In the internet section, I got a new good keyword tool. In the speaking tips section, I don't want you to quote me on whatever you hear. And in the a-hole of the week section, you're going to find out if scientifically you are a jerk. All right, we'll find that out in the a-hole section. And in the hero section, now in the scam section, it's a dog's world. In the hero section, it's a pig's world. All right, and all right, so let's get going here. Some announcements. Don't forget the hashtag businesses against snowflakes. All right. I mean, I get so sick of these crazy. Hey, John Abbott, John Lee, how are you? These colleges just going along with all this ridiculous bullshit that's that these kids are paying these fortunes for educations, and they're getting nothing but safe spaces, and then the minute they get out, they're going to just crumble like eggshells. It's unbelievable. Most colleges are putting up with this. University of Chicago is not. I mentioned that I don't know, about a month ago on here. But anyway, hashtag businesses against snowflakes, where I'm not going to hire anybody from universities that put up with this stupid, ridiculous stuff. Pronouns, there's 31 different things to call a person. How about I call you a frickin' idiot? How about that? Is that on the list? Well, that's what you are if you go along with that. Hey, Richard, how are you? Nice to see you. Okay, so also we have a couple slots left. Starting tomorrow night, I'm doing a 4-week how to run a profitable mentor program. How to start and run a profitable mentor program. I'm taking only 20 people. I think we got about 14 so far, so I got about 6 slots left. You can check that out at Antion.com Antion.com/mentortraining.html. Antion.com/mentortraining.html. It's a 4-week course, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It'll be 3 Mondays and 1 Tuesday. Okay, so check that out afterwards. Let's see. Just got another scholarship. I think I have 2 scholarships left to the school. So if you know what I'm talking about, great. If not, and you're interested in a scholarship, go to tomantionwebinars.com and watch the second webinar about the school scholarship. And you can do it right from there. Okay, let's see. What else we got? Oh, my friend Gene, that I did the GoFundMe account for, had to go back in for a second surgery. He had bleeding where they internally where they removed the tumor. So it's gofundme.com/supergene, Gene, and S. I don't know if capitalization matters, but super S is capitalized and G for Gene is capitalized. So gofundme.com/supergene. Okay, let's see what I got going here. Let's go to the mailbag. Joanne says, where were you last week? Well, last week was pretty crazy around here, folks. Last week, it started raining on Saturday and just poured for continuously. And, I think it was Friday maybe it started raining. I forget. It was like 3 days. And my generator to run the house pooped out on me when the electricity went out, and I had to get my electrician to come over and put one of those smaller ones, and we were just limping by. Anyway, the debate was that night anyway, so we just got electricity Sunday afternoon, and it was too late to do anything, so I put a notice up. So sorry about that. Jerry says, what are the hot topics to speak on? Well, Jerry, I don't like the question. I'll tell you why. Is if you just pick a topic that you think is hot, that doesn't mean you're credible at it or know anything about it. And so you're never going to get high fees with no credibility or background in the topic. So don't think like that. Think about, what am I credible at that could be made into a good solid topic, not necessarily a hot topic, because a lot of times hot topics are fads and they fade away. So I'd rather you find something you're credible at, or you could be credible at over time, and pick that as a topic. So don't just jump on the latest bandwagon, because you're going to fail miserably because you're not credible at that topic. I mean, if you happen to be credible at that topic, well then great, you hit the lottery, but most of the time it's not like that. I see there's a mirror like right above my head. I don't know, like a thing coming out of my head. Pam wants to know, what is the best format for an ebook? Well, Pam, a couple things here. There's only 2 formats that I really like. One is PDF, which I have been selling PDF ebooks for 16 years now, before it was cool, even before Stephen King tried to do it and couldn't make any money, and I was making money selling PDF ebooks. But the other one is Amazon Kindle. Now, you say, well, what about Apple books and Nook and Barnes & Noble and all that stuff? Forget it. Don't waste your time. PDF is something you can make much more money on selling directly off your website. So if you have any kind of audience of your own, you can sell PDF ebooks right off of your site. Now, if you have no audience at all, I would go direct to Kindle. Kindle is the big 900, 800,000 pound gorilla, and they have 200, 300 million customers that might trip on you. Now, you don't get as much from the book, but remember, the books are always to lead people to buy something bigger. So don't worry about that. But I would concentrate on Amazon Kindle, and I would learn about Kindle Select. We actually have a webinar on this at tomantionwebinars.com, free webinar, giving you lots of tips and tricks on Amazon Kindle. But if you have your own market already, like I have a big email list, I can sell direct PDF at much higher prices than Kindle stuff. So those are the 2 I like, Kindle and PDF. Okay, let's get to the news. We got some dumb non-criminals here. And this, there was a, where did this happen? I think this was in Pakistan or something, but somebody was being on trial for having explosive devices. This really isn't funny, but it's just so stupid. So the judge asked the constable who was in the courtroom if he knew how a grenade worked, and there was a grenade sitting there. And instead of just saying, yes, I do, he took it out and actually pulled the pin, and he blew up the courtroom. Now, he didn't kill anybody, thank God, but everybody had to go to the hospital because he blew up the courtroom with this. And it says the constable is said to be facing severe discipline as soon as he gets out of the hospital. I wonder if he'll be in front of the same judge. Let's see who's coming in here. Barbara Ann, how are you? Nice to see you. Let's see. Oh, I told you about how if you want to make sure God doesn't bother you, you file a restraining order against a guy. An Israeli guy petitioned magistrate's court for a restraining order against God, pointing out that the Almighty has exhibited a seriously negative attitude towards over the past 3 years. And the judge rejected the petition, even though apparently God didn't show up for the trial. At least his presence could not be detected. Oh, let's see. Oh, and here, talk about snowflakes, right? And businesses against snowflakes. In Beijing, an elderly couple had to get a court order to force their 36-year-old daughter to move out after she had refused to do so for years. And the couple admitted to the Beijing Morning Post that they might have pampered her a little bit over the years. Oh, man. Oh, let's see. What's this last one? Oh, my God. I tell you, I forgot to tell you, yeah, religious is dangerous. The church is especially dangerous. So this happened in North Wales, Pennsylvania, not really all that far. They have a tradition where to save your seat at the pew, you put a Bible on it, all right? So this one guy, Robert Braxton, he didn't want any of that. So he took one of the saved seats. He just moved the Bible away and sat down. And witnesses told Philadelphia's TV station that when the church member gently tapped him on the shoulder to inform him of the tradition, in case he didn't know, Braxton snapped at him and became disruptive, started a fight basically in church. All right? And again, this is not funny, it's just so bizarre. So the person that tapped him on the shoulder pulled a gun and showed him, so you better get up, I got a gun. And the guy says, that's not a real gun. And he started to punch him, and the guy shot him twice and killed him right there. And the guy said, what are you going to do, shoot me? And the guy said, yeah, I feel threatened. Boom, he shot him twice and killed him. And got charged with voluntary manslaughter. Right? So churches are dangerous, folks. I stay away from them because I don't have a lightning rod to wear when I get near one. See who else is here. Say hello if you're just checking in. Leave a comment. Click your love button, your heart button, or something, so I know people are out there. Okay, let's see. The scam bag. That's where we find what? The scumbags. So talking about fake pet sites. A lot of us visit this thing and are animal lovers, and me, I'm animal crazy. I got where's Rubik's? Rubik's, where are you? Oh, there he is. But they're putting up fake pet sites for you to supposedly rescue dogs, and they make the deal sound really good, like it's a purebred puppy and got abandoned for somebody dying, and so it's way cheaper than usual, and you know, you've got an adoption fee and a transportation fee to send it to you, and so you send all this money, but there's no dog. All right, there's no pet at all. It's a big fake site. So be very skeptical of fake pet sites. And coming up, I know it's a little early for this, but I don't know what the hot toys are and stuff for Christmas, but you know, we're not too far from, what is that, Black Friday or something right after Thanksgiving, where everybody's shopping for Christmas. Well, it's the same thing. They find out what the hot toys are. They put up a fake website pretending they have a stock of them, and all the parents desperate because the kids are bugging them to get this greatest toy, and it doesn't exist. They just take your money or steal your identity or both. All right, so be very careful of fake sites. Only order from reputable sites that's got a long track record, and avoid, if you see somebody's got a purebred Labrador puppy in Toledo, Ohio, and you live in Denver, forget it. It's not real. Somebody would have scarfed that dog up in 2 seconds, all right, locally. So if it's too good to be true, there you go. Okay, our self-defense tip. Oh, now there's something that I'm really I predicted. A lot of people predicted. I'm not the only one. Hey, Eric, how are you? Good to see you. Tracy, first time. Nice to see you, Tracy. Glad you stopped by. Kevin, Davis, nice to see you. Yeah, me and a lot of other people predicted this, but there's a female police officer. This guy was on PCP, real strong, big guy, and even though there's a couple officers there, they tried to arrest the guy. He was doing weird stuff. I forget, he was on the middle of the road doing crazy stuff. And so he ended up tackling her and beating her head into the pavement. And thank God, I mean, there was enough other officers there to get him off of her. But she really was sitting there thinking that she was going to die. I mean, it was all over. Nothing would faze him. She actually had one handcuff on him, and I think he was beating her with that. When they got her to the hospital, they're picking pavement out of her face, and she thought she was dead. You know what she said? She said, and she was perfectly justified in that situation to shoot the guy. She said, no, I didn't want to shoot him because I was afraid that my family would suffer and forever and have to leave town. And you see what's happening? Police are hesitating, and any of you that know anything about guns or self-defense know that hesitation will get you killed. No question about it. You have to make the decision ahead of time what you're going to do in a life or death situation. The minute you, the nicest and smartest people are the ones that get killed, and here's why. They value life, and so your opponent probably doesn't. And so you hesitate long enough to let them kill you, all right? And I always tell people in my brutal self-defense class, I make them write down, okay, who's going to be hysterically crying at your funeral? Who's going to have a tough life now because you're no longer around? Your kids, your wife, your husband. So you have to make the decision ahead of time that these people are animals, and if your life is in danger, it's better them than you. All right, you didn't start it, you didn't you didn't try. You tried to get away, you couldn't, and but if you let them kill you, first of all, evil just triumph. And also, it goes way down the line that all the people that you're responsible for. So you have to really start thinking about this ahead of time. And I was watching some things. This election, both candidates are clearly flawed. But I heard that WikiLeaks about Hillary saying she envisions open borders. I'll tell you what, go type into YouTube later. Calais, Calais, truckers and immigrants. It will open your eyes on, oh my God, they had this tent city that's as far as the eye could see, and just swarms and swarms and swarms of immigrants, all male, no women and children. This is all just young males, breaking into trailer trucks as they're slowing them down on the interstate, breaking into the back, robbing them, just swarming them. Oh, just scary as all get out. And there's another one I just saw today about Paris is just being run over. The beautiful Paris, the streets are just lined with mattresses, and like I said, I saw the video of it. I did not see one child or one woman. It was all just young men. Hey, Oren, how are you? Just sleeping on the sidewalk in beautiful Paris. All right. So it's crazy. So you've got to really start thinking about protecting yourself and your family. And I've been harping on it every show that we've had since I started this thing. But are you doing it? Or are you just saying, well, it won't happen to me, or I got plenty of time? Well, I hope I don't. You can't be on a Sunday show some night because you got hurt. Okay, but anyway. The 0 to 100. If you want to survive a violent encounter, you want to use the element of surprise, if possible. Now, the bad person uses it on you. Hey, deplorable jewelry. She put a link there to something. Oh, to the Paris. That must be that Paris video. Of the streets just lined with people, just laying around on the side of the street, garbage everywhere. Hey, Oren, Stone Mountain, Georgia. Or are you stoned in the mountains in Georgia? I don't know. Which is it, Oren? So anyway, absolutely the criminal wants to surprise you because most people will freeze if they're untrained. And it makes them just easier to dominate you and do what they want with you. So we want the element of surprise. If you do have a chance to, you're confronting a bad person, you want to start out as totally, hey Marv, how are you? You want to start out as compliant, which means, and now this is one of our positions to look meek and mild, but you're protecting your head, which we talked about in another issue. You want to act like you're compliant with them so that they let their guard down a little bit. And you also want to, wasn't really part of this 0 to 100, but they're so closely related. You want to attack them while you're asking them a question. So it's called a pattern interrupt, I think they call it. But basically, what do you want? Do you want my wallet? But before you get the word wallet out, you've gone from 0, meek, to like, scratch your eyes out and just 0 to 100. So they never see it coming. And then you don't stop until the threat's done. So this is something you got to work on. I can do it. I've worked on it 1,000 times. I can be just as calm as cucumbers and then totally devastating. All right, I'm not trying to be dramatic here. I'm just telling you that if you get that skill, it's going to dramatically increase your chances of success. Now, if you don't totally incapacitate them, they're going to think, oh my God, I picked the wrong target, and leave. Or you incapacitate them. And our eyes is the #1 target, because if they can't see you, they can't get you. I mean, maybe they could if they were swinging a machete and you're close enough, or maybe if they're shooting a machine gun crazy, but most of the people aren't going to be doing that. They can't see you, they can't get you. So you want to practice going from calm, like go get in front of a punching bag or something, or even do it in the air like you're doing Taibo or something. And practice from being totally calm, just talking, to boom, right in somebody's face, scratching their eyes out, getting them moving backwards. Now, even the biggest guy moving backwards may fall over, especially if they're real big and top heavy. They might trip and fall over, give you a chance to step on their face while you're running away. So practice going 0 to 100, compliant to. All right. So that's your self-defense tip. Okay, your internet tip is very short. I just found a new quick and easy keyword tool. Keywords are one of the most important things ever that you do on the internet. Most people do everything backwards. They get some harebrained idea and make a website and all this stuff, but they don't even know if anybody wants that idea. So keyword research is critical. Now, our main tool we use is the Google Keyword Planner, but it's a big pain in the neck to get to it, and sign up for it in the first place is really a big pain in the neck. It's free, but it's still a big hassle. So I found one that's called Uber Suggests. Uber Suggests. Now, it's not a .com. It's like a .io. So just type in Uber space suggests, and you'll find it's a keyword tool. And maybe even write keyword tool in the search box. But it's a .io. It's not a .com. If you go to .com, it's not there. So that's a quick and easy. You don't have to log in. You can get a lot of keyword research done very easily. Okay, let me take a second here and click over to refresh my laptop here. Oh, speaking of laptops, I got, I wonder why I'm not showing up here. Let's see. Speaking of laptops, I got this new iPhone 7S, or yes, no, 7 Plus, something like that. The thing is like carrying a laptop in your pocket. I mean, the other one, I had the other one, the 5S was the little one. I liked it. It wouldn't even see it in my pocket. This thing is giant, and as big as I am, it's hard to work it with one hand and everything. But I'll tell you what, it does a lot of cool stuff. It has that dual camera on it, that's so you can do zoom, optical zoom, and depth of field, and all kinds of stuff. So, and there's a new the update for the depth of field hasn't come out yet, but it's supposed to be able to make the subject in focus and the background out of focus, which is really high quality. So that's my new thing. I walk sideways now because it's so big. All right, let's get back to our stuff here. Okay, speaking tip. I promised that I was going to just give you lots of ways each week to use humor in a speech. And this week is funny quotations. And I thought I'd pull some up. Hey, Travis, how are you? Since the election's coming up, I thought I'd pull some political ones up. And all you have to do is type in funny political quotations or political quotations, and they'll have funny ones and serious ones and everything. So here's one by P.J. O'Rourke. When buying and selling are controlled by legislation, the first things to be bought and sold are legislators. I wonder who they're talking about there. Let me think. Let's see. Mark Twain said, "We have the best government that money can buy." Again, I wonder who that is. And Larry Hardiman said, "The word politics," now I have heard some other comedians use this one, "the word politics is derived from the word poly, meaning many, and tick, meaning blood-sucking parasites." So literally, folks, you could just read those in a speech. Now, you probably wouldn't want to put the political commentary on it, because then if people, it's not a good idea in speeches to tell people which way you lean politically or religiously or anything. It's always just trouble. You get into arguments you don't want to be in when you're in a speaking engagement, unless you're there to speak about politics. But in other words, the first two I picked because of Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. Pay for play. I mean, you can't get any more clear than that. And but I wouldn't have done that in a speech. I'd have picked some other ones that are just totally generic, that are funny. So anyway, that's quotations are something you can just read and add some humor to your presentation. Okay, now our a-hole of the week. Actually, I don't have a specific one. This is the one where you get to scientifically tell if you're a jerk or not. Now, this is a real study that just came out from the University of Michigan, also, which is that crazy place I was ragging on last week for all the snowflakes being up there. However, Julie Boland was the person that ran the study, and the study says that anybody who calls out a grammatical error is scientifically a jerk. Hey, Rick. Lynn Rose. Hey, how you doing, Lynn? Oh, Lynn's the wow girl. Oh, she and I go way back. We used to sing at conventions together. Well, I would sing not so loud because she's a professional level singer, so I would just kind of go along with it. But we had a lot of fun at those conventions. So anyway, back to this study. There's supposedly the big 5 personality traits in psychology, and I took psychology in college, and I don't remember hearing about this. I mean, I learned more about psychology in the 6 years I owned a nightclub than I ever did in school. But the big 5 personality traits are you open to experience, conscientiousness, extroversion, and agreeableness, and neuroticism. Those are the big 5. And people that correct your grammar. Hey, Dove. Oh, man, we got all the big superstars here tonight. How you doing, man? So people that correct other people's grammar or get upset about when they see a misspelling and things like that, or if you don't know the difference between their, T-H-E-Y-R-E, and T-H-E-I-R, and T-H-E-R-E, if you don't know that, they really think you're a doofus, all right? But the grammar police like that tend to be disagreeable, closed-minded, and conscientious introverts. Right? So scientifically, jerks. So, and you can hit up Julie Boland about it. I'm just the reporter here. Okay, let's go into the hero of the week, and I always want to change up on you a little bit, and yeah, folks who live by their memes. Yeah, I kind of made a meme up the other day. There's a meme generator, and it was Jim Comey, the FBI director, and it said, "Has anybody seen my balls?" I didn't send it out, but oh, what a mess. I mean, a lot of the FBI, the lifetime FBI people were so upset. A lot of politics going on. Anyway, I thought I'd switch it up with you on the hero of the week, because I've been doing the unsung heroes, not the obvious ones that everybody knows about, Mother Teresa or Saint Teresa now, I think it is. But I did the one about the young girl that saved that Jewish lady from the ghetto. The ghetto is not that was the name of that concentration camp, and how wonderful that turned out. But in this case, I'm going to switch up a little bit. These are unsung animal heroes, and there are just tons of them. If you want to see some, if you're an animal lover and you want to just see some heart-wrenching stories, just type that in, animal heroes, and the stories are there's just hundreds of them, of these little loving souls that have really. I mean, there was even one on a beluga whale that said, I didn't even put it in here, but the beluga whales in captivity are kept in Arctic freezing like water. So this one woman was in there with no air tanks on and got a cramp and was going to die. And they have actually the underwater picture. The whale grabbed her by the leg in his mouth, or her, I'm not sure, and pushed her to the surface to save her. I mean, now the whale had been around humans quite a bit, but there's no way that hey Raven, how are you? Nice to see you. There's no way that that she could have called, "Hey whale, help me out." It's just some connection between them. But one of them I have here is Lulu, the potbelly pig. Now listen to this story. Joanne Altsman had a heart attack and collapsed on the floor of her house. Lulu, her daughter's pot-bellied pig, busted out of the house and went and laid down in the middle of the street to stop traffic. Never had done anything like this ever before. And then would run back into the house and then run back into the street. And finally, somebody decided something's going on. This pig's laying around, and followed her into the house. Followed the pig into the house. Saw the person on the floor. Called the 911 and saved the lady, who would have clearly died. Nobody would have ever found her until it was way too late. So, how can this possibly happen? This is like a 1984 pig. For those of you that know literature a little bit. Amazing kind of connection. Now, next thing is I've always said I had a dog named Freeway, which somebody had hit him busted his hip, left him for dead, busted his leg on the side of the road, and I'm going by, and I said, I can't let this happen. So I scooped the dog up, I take him to the vet. Now, this is in the 80s, all right, and the vet says it's going to be $700 to fix him. This is in 1980. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? So I had the nightclub at the time, so I put this can up with, I said, fix him up, we'll get the money for you. And the vet in those days was nice. He said, whatever you collect at the bar, he knew me from the bar, good enough. So I put the can up there, and we collected all the money to pay the vet off. And I carried him up and down the steps for 6 months because he couldn't stand or go to poop or anything. And got him back in shape. And he was with me then 13 years. And he did a job when I had the entertainment company with me. He's been written up in books, and his story's been told all over the world and he was paying me back. I don't know, for saving his butt, So, but anyway, Khan, Khan, there was a Doberman that had only been rescued by this family. How many? 4 days, and the dog is out in the yard with 17-month-old Charlotte. And there is what's the name of the snake? Let's see. A king brown snake was under the porch heading towards the little girl. The dog grabbed the little girl by her diaper, whipped her around behind him, and the snake bit the dog, and the dog survived. But how could this be that the dog would have the wherewithal to grab a little girl and get her out of danger? Unfreaking believable. I don't get it, but I love it. That's why I'm so attached to these animals. They're just, anybody that's got a real heart can see that they're just full of love, and they want to serve, and they're just wonderful. But the old joke is like put your dog in the trunk of your car for 4 hours, and put your wife in the trunk of a car 4 hours, and when you open it up, see which one's glad to see you. I know that's a crappy joke, but it does tell the story about dogs, So that's Con the Doberman. Amazing story. Now, Willie the parrot. Think about, check this out. There was a little 2-year-old girl. Her name was Hannah Kusk, Kuusk. And Megan Howard was her babysitter, and the owner of the bird. And Megan prepared, heated up a Pop-Tart for the little girl, Hannah, and then just quickly ran to the bathroom. Well, she hears Willie, her bird, screaming like crazy and flapping his wings, and he's screaming. He's saying, "Mama, baby, mama, baby, mama, baby." And so the babysitter ran out of the bathroom, and the baby was the 2-year-old was choking. She had it, and her lips and face were all blue, and she had to do the Heimlich maneuver to save her right then. But she would have still been in the bathroom, and the girl would have been dead or at least brain damaged if it wasn't for Willie the parrot screaming. How could she possibly think, "Mama, baby, mama, baby, mama, baby"? So I just, the bird later got the local Red Cross chapter's Animal Lifesaver Award. Well, I'm glad other people are watching this too. So very, very, very heart-wrenching. The reason I'm just totally crazy about animals, and of course we have that site IamNotAPoodle.com where we collect money for Bichon Rescue. Bichon Frise is a certain kind of dog. Let's see. Holly says, "Oh my heaven, I use that all the time, the car trunk one." Amazing, says Deplorable Jewelry. So anyway, keep your eye out and send me unsung heroes of any sort, because I just always want to try to encourage people to be heroes and give them some praise. Although most of the people that do this kind of stuff don't ask for praise. They're not publicity hounds like us. Hey, Craig, how are you? Nice to see you. So anyway, that's the story. So keep in mind my friend Gene. Gene is part of the Scam Brigade TV show. He's a former FBI agent, and he just had a tumor pop up out of nowhere. He couldn't read, and they took it out, and then he had to go back in for surgery. So it's GoFundMe.com/Super Gene, Gene, Super Gene. I think it's capital S and capital G. So that'd be great if you could go take a look at the GoFundMe thing there. Anything would help. And here we go. So don't forget the mentor training starting tomorrow night. If you still want to get a shot at that, Antion.com/mentortraining.html. It's 4 weeks in a row. I'm going to give you every detail of my 20 years of having one of the most successful, longest running mentor programs ever on the internet. Hey Charlotte, how are you? John? Yeah, John says the animal stories are amazing. I think God put them here to help us. And yeah, the old thing is what's dog spelled backwards, right? So it's not cat, but there's some crazy stories about cats too. I just was reading one. A cat saved carbon monoxide was filling the house, so that's odorless and tasteless. All right, so you'll sleep right through it. You'll be dead. The cat went crazy and scratched the face of the owner just in time to wake her up and get him out of the house before the house. She would have been dead in a few more minutes. So just lots and lots of those stories. So like always, stay home if you can, stay safe, and make some money. Catch you next time, next Sunday. See ya.